Nikola Tesla predicted the smartphone. The world is already well aware of the incredible revolutionary breakthroughs brought forth by the late Serbian-Croatian inventor Nikola Tesla, but it appears that even more have forgotten his strange ability to foretell future events as well as make accurate predictions that have barely begun to be understood in the modern day. In fact, during the peak of Nikola Tesla's popularity, the newspapers and journalists would refer to the inventor as the Wizard of Wardenclyffe, after he made incredible futuristic predictions such as the crashing of a train that would go on to save the life of Katherine Johnson and George Westinghouse, personal friends and investors. Although many might disregard these statements as nothing more than the source of rumours surrounding the eccentric man, one such quote and prediction is overwhelmingly accurate and backed by the release of a newspaper article to support the quote's authenticity before the prediction had come true. Many people might not be aware of the fact that Nikola Tesla often spoke about ideas relating to wireless internet back during the early 1900s, even working on his patents and technologies that helped to provide wireless electricity transmitted through the air, along with the invention and discovery of radio waves and the first rudimentary understanding of the electromagnetic spectrum. This was not his only futuristic prediction of modern technologies, however, as in one interview with the Serbian-Croatian inventor, a journalist wrote down a quote in which Nikola Tesla describes the modern-day smartphone and its capability. He claimed that when wireless is perfectly applied, the whole world will be converted into a huge brain, which, in fact, it is, all things being particles of a real and rhythmic whole. We shall be able to communicate with one another instantly, irrespective of distance. Not only this, but through television and telephony, we shall see and hear one another as perfectly as though we were face to face, despite intervening distances of thousands of miles, and the instruments through which we shall be able to do this will be amazingly simple compared with our present telephone. A man will be able to carry one in his vest pocket. This quote was recorded as far back as 1926. The Jules Verne prediction of the Apollo moon landing. Jules Verne is known all throughout the science fiction community as being not only one of the most inspiring writers of his era, but also an incredibly accurate predictor on future technologies and events that would soon occur. He predicted such inventions as the submarine, the jukebox, the holograph, and even the discovery of the elusive colossal squid. Interestingly enough, he also appears to be at the center of one of the biggest conspiracies of time travel, as his future predictions were so accurate, that many believed that perhaps he had visited the future and took inspiration from what he saw in that time. The center of the time travel conspiracy theory surrounding Jules Verne seems to focus on the strange similarities and surprisingly exact predictions surrounding the moon landing and the Apollo 11 mission. He predicted that the spaceship used to deliver the first manned crew would be in the form that was similar to the modern-day cigar, with a bulleted nose to help assist with the aerodynamic factor, claimed that the launch pad would be called the Columbiad compared to the launch pad used in the Apollo 11 mission, of which was called the Columbia, predicted that there would be only 3 men in the manned crew, the exact shape and dimension of the smaller piece of the ship that would be used to land and take off from the moon, and even predicted the lack of gravity in space. Although that last prediction might not seem like much, since many believe the scientists had already predicted 0 Gs in space, that's actually not true. Not only was the concept of 0 Gs not even proposed at the time, but scientists even believed that it would be impossible to travel through space because they knew it was mostly a vacuum, and within a vacuum, it's impossible to push off of anything to accumulate distance. This means that not only did Jules Verne predict the moon landing with incredible precision and accuracy, but also was the first person in the world to propose the theory of zero gravity experienced by astronauts in manned space missions. "3D printed transplanted organs." Although the technique has been in practice for quite some time, 3D transplanted organs have been making strides in the field of organ development and seen in potential use for people of all kinds all across the world for different reasons. We have already seen human hearts grown in labs and being built via the use of stem cells and structures built from 3D printed skeletons, but it appears that with recent breakthroughs, the process will become more accessible to the public in the coming years. Developing their work on the years of previous research into the field, a team of research scientists from the Imperial College London and the King's College London have worked around the clock to create new techniques for printing 3D structures to be used for human organs and tissues. They rely on the use of cryogenics to create structures that can mimic the mechanical properties of brain and lung tissue to be used to help repair damaged tissues without risk of rejection from donors and transplants. This could potentially help to solve modern-day medicine issues such as that of transplant rejection, organ and tissue shortages, and perhaps, in the near future, total blindness in a patient since birth. The potential to help repair and replace any damaged organs in the body, excluding that of the human brain, without the expense of an organ donor could mean the overall life expectancy of human beings going well past triple digits and perhaps even longer than 150 years. This could mean that a person could theoretically live for hundreds of years longer than ever previously expected and still be in good shape with the addition of transplants and tissue repair. Reverse treatment for Alzheimer's. In a recent video, we discussed the statistical analysis of the possibility of scientific groups soon emerging with treatments for the mental disease of Alzheimer's and how it could theoretically be used to not only prevent the onset of Alzheimer's in patients, but also be used to help repair damaged neurons and mental connections. Fortunately, it turns out this prediction was more than accurate, as in recent weeks, it has emerged that a new form of treatment to assist with the treatment of Alzheimer's has come through that could potentially even reverse the negative degenerative effects on the brain the disease inflicts on neural pathways. A research team located at the Cleveland Clinic Lerner Research Institute discovered that by depleting an enzyme known as BACE1, this could help to prevent the formation of amyloid plaques that form as clumps and destroy the connections between nerve cells. When using this information in tests with mice affected with the Alzheimer's disease, the researchers found that not only did it help to prevent the degradation of the neurons in the brain, but it even helped to improve memory and learning within the mice. Pairing this up with a new study coming from a team of researchers located at the Gladstone Institute in San Francisco that found that they could restore significant amounts of brain function in mice affected with the Alzheimer's disease by transplanting neurons with re-engineered inhibitory interneurons. This could mean the complete eradication of the neurodegenerative disease entirely. Interestingly enough, we believe that it will only take another 15 years before these findings make their way into the mainstream treatment for Alzheimer's patients today, and will help to change the lives of many afflicted with the disease all across the world. Turning blood cells into brain cells. As we have covered in the past in many other prediction videos surrounding scientific breakthroughs that would soon come in no time at all, one of the biggest topics we have covered in the past is that of the CRISPR gene editing and what it could do for the future of humanity. It appears that once again, Unexplained Mysteries has been at the forefront of these predictions and made accurate claims about the study of the gene editing practices, as it appears that the CRISPR gene editing techniques are hitting clinical trials and have already shown startlingly promising results. For the first time in history, scientists have been able to change human blood cells into a form of neural stem cell that can be grown in a lab and multiplied indefinitely with the modification of CRISPR gene editing. The cells have been referred to as induced neural plate border stem cells, and are seen as similar to those seen during embryonic development of the fetus still growing in the womb. This calls the cells to be used as a repair tool for neural damage and can be bound to existing neural pathways to strengthen bonds and repair damage made by neurodegenerative disease or direct trauma caused by accidents. The first attempts at this research was performed by a group of research scientists based out of a German cancer research center and the Stem Cell Institute known as HiStem located in Heidelberg. This could very well mean that soon, humans will no longer have to worry about neurodegenerative diseases in old age, and that we could maintain our minds and memories well past we ever expected to. Given the fact that the brain is the only organ incapable of being transplanted, this could help to extend the life of a human being well past 100 years of age and perhaps even further.